us. Hello, you are specially welcome to this edition of the program AIT Infotech Network. And I am Bayero Agabi. For details, you can log on to aitinfotechnetwork.com, or better still, you can text the number on your screen. The fast pace of technological development is transforming our lives. In this new world of digital revolution, no nation, organization, or individual can develop without technology. In the march towards the future, we cannot allow ourselves to fall behind. Our economy depends on it. Our professional capability must be up to date.
To bridge this divide, AIT brings to you Infotech Network, West Africa's first leading and award-winning ICT program on television. Cross the bridge. Join Nigeria's best ICT reporter of the year.
And the winner is
Mr. Bayero Agabi from Africa Independent Television of Nigeria.
To X-ray issues and development in global ICT. For participation, reach AIT Head Marketing Alagbado, Lagos, Bayero Agabi at yahoo.com.
AIT Infotech Network, reading the tool divide.
The Obama administration, according to Reuters, has lifted the United States Trade Panel's ban on the sales of some older iPhones and iPads such as the iPhone 4, iPhone 3GS, iPad 3G, and iPad 2.3G distributed by AT&T Incorporated. The previous ruling, which had favored Samsung Electronics Company Limited over Apple Incorporated in their long-running patent battle, resulted from the Apple devices infringing on the patent owned by the South Korean electronics giant. In the same development, U.S. Trade Representative Michael Froman vetoed the ban, saying the decision was in the interest of the U.S. economy and U.S. consumers at large.
This is AIT Infotech Network, and I am Bayero Agabi. And thank you for being with us all this while. For participation, you can log on to our website, tmconline.com.ng, or you can text the number on your screen.
How much of public engagement and the operators themselves doing to bring this to the front, so that Nigerians have a proper sense of understanding that the issue is not solely with number portability, that porting does not necessarily address your issue. Your issue also resides with your representatives.
I really like to know, because I never knew up to this point, what the basic advantage of mobile number portability is.
Has the quality of service really improved with MNP? And you told us that it has improved. If it has, can you tell us at what percentage that it has improved?
Those were some of the concerns raised by stakeholders in the Nigerian information and communication technology sector at the second quarter industry forum organized recently in Lagos by ICT Publishers Alliance with the theme MNP, the journey so far, realities, challenges and potentials.
What we've tried to do in this forum is to look into what challenges subscribers are facing for now, or even those who are involved in effecting the porting scheme. If there are initial challenges that can be looked into and removed out of the way, so that the porting experience can be total, efficient and effective and benefit all stakeholders.
Early this year, the Nigerian Communication Commission launched the Mobile Number Portability Initiative as part of its efforts to deepen competition and force operators to provide better service to their customers. Represented at events by Odeyemi Ogo, the Executive Vice Chairman NCC Eugene Jua stressed that the Commission is committed to creating more awareness to guide Nigerians on the MNP processes.
in anything in life, all right, if people are not aware of how to go about what they have to do, certainly there will be a lot of challenges, all right, and that is why the Nigeria Communications Commission has made sure that we've put in a lot of efforts at creating the required awareness for people to understand exactly what the mobile number portability is all about, how they can go about doing it. Because if you get that, once that is gotten very right, then a lot of issues that would have cropped up are actually addressed in a very proactive manner. Because of course enlightenment, without gainsaying, gives you the power to be able to not do the wrong things.
On the success recorded so far in the Mobile Number Portability Initiative, Uche Omudiwe of Interconnect Clearing House maintained that subscribers now have the opportunity to migrate from one network to another.
Well, the success that we'll say is that people are actually porting, people are actually using the process, and that's one of our key indicators of whether we're doing a good job or not. Once the subscriber has the opportunity to change from one network to another, then we know that we're succeeding. And once we're able to do it in the timely manner and within the parameters that we've set, then we know that our process is working. Basically, the exercise so far has been encouraging. We are seeing numbers increasing on a week-by-week basis, certainly. Now, from that perspective, yes, it's encouraging what we are seeing.
However, if the numerous challenges like poor power supply, multiple taxation, and a host of others are adequately addressed, the 119 million active subscribers in the country will enjoy better quality of service, and porting from one network to the other will now become a thing of choice.
Months have passed since the gruesome murder of Cynthia Osokogu, a Nigerian model and daughter of a retired army general. But her death and similar issues played up here today at the Shehu Musa Yaradua Center, Abuja, venue of this year's Nigeria Internet Governance Forum.
I think there's just a child that died in the UK just of recent. It was through the internet. And we have had our own share here. Our Cynthia that died here was killed here. What was it? It was through social network, chatted with some boys, and she left her place and came to Lagos and was killed. So we have all those issues of the bad behavior on the net. So what do? How do we tackle that? We need to protect our children. There is the portion for the children to know where to visit, the site to visit and what not to visit.
Internet surveillance also elicited a heated debate here today. Participants differ on whether or not the government should be allowed to spy on people's emails.
The government has access to information for security and law enforcement purposes, but the discourse doesn't seem to be focused more on who's going to supervise the government's surveillance practices. Not just having surveillance, but having the right to protect users from abuse by the government.
We're in a delicate age. The cyber system, the cyber ecology, needs its police personnel. So security is an increasing issue in the cyber ecology. The issue is how do you do it in a way that is lawful, in a way that is not overly intrusive, in a way that does not undermine the growth of cyber inclusion. And I do think that is what we have got to address, and that is where the devil really is in the details of the proposals that the NCC has put forward. I think it's a good thing that that's been done. But there is also a second issue, which is, do you do this by secondary legislation or do you do it by primary legislation?
If you look at the internet on its own, it's a cyberspace. It's a replica of the real life situation. And there is the need for us to have checks and balances. Today, you can't just move on the street freely if there are no police. So we need something like that for someone to know that yes, somebody somewhere is looking at what he's doing. It's a measure through which we can safeguard the cyberspace.
From whatever angle you choose to look at it, truth is, the freedom we enjoy today on the cyberspace is gradually being eroded as governments across the world is becoming more interested in the things we do on the internet. I am Francisca Nana reporting for AIT Infotech Network.
And now to our issue of the week. Stay with us. Hello, you're specially welcome to this segment of the program where we discuss issues that matters, issues that affect the ICT industry in Nigeria. Today, on the front burner is the City Ministry, that is the Communications Technology Ministry. The question we are asking here today is, what has changed since the City Ministry was created? To deal justice on this, two great minds from the media. One of them is the former president of the Joint Action Committee for ICT Awareness and Development, and that is the person of Prince Oswago. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
He's also a frontline journalist, an ICT journalist. I also have in the studio the one we call one who set the pace for people like us to follow. Is Shino Badaru, the publisher of Technology Times, and again the current president of the Joint Action Committee for ICT Awareness and Development. Gentlemen, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's all right. I think we kick off this way. The City Ministry was created over a year ago. Prince, let me start with you.
Okay.
There were reasons for stakeholders and even the media clamoring for a central coordinating point for ICT activities in this country. We saw that gave rise to the birth of the City Ministry. Today, what would you say has changed?
Well, I think it's a big irony. I don't know how to say. I think if you look at it, what has changed is the clamor. There is no more clamor. I think that is what has changed. But everything is still the way it used to be.
You said the only thing that has changed is the glamour. To what extent do you disagree or agree with what Prince has just said?
I'll just simply acknowledge that so much has changed radically and fundamentally. We first of all have to acknowledge the fact that within a record time, the ministry released the new information and communication technology policy, and within a record time that ministry was able to meet. WIFI was able to put together a stakeholders forum, was able to get a cross diversity of input and opinion from across the stakeholder, and was able to get it through the villa to be endorsed and signed off by the president as a national ICT policy. And that happened in what a lot of people acknowledge as a record time. And that for me is a fundamental change which basically cemented that foundation for so many other things that we
like
want
a
the industry. Yeah,
like
basically.
Okay, but you see, the stakeholders, on the basis of the clamor for the ICT for the city industry, was that also there should be some physical changes that they can actually identify with. Beyond the policy framework that is still in the works, because that's not been fully put into law, it has not been made a law. Can you pinpoint those areas that you say the ministry has influenced some practical changes?
Oh, great. Quite obvious. Let me first of all correct something. I don't speak for the ministry. I just speak like an industry analyst who's seen things evolve. Okay, ever since the policy came to be, there's also been a whole world of other initiatives. Let's first of all acknowledge the fact that the ministry is largely not responsible for executing. The ministry is responsible for coming, shaping, and defining policy vision, policy direction, and ensuring they are consistent and sustainable execution. One area where we must also acknowledge the fact that the ministry has impacted is that there's been this clamor for broadband that should follow after that famous mobile telephony explosion that has given us over 110 million active lines at the end of say last year. Now people are now saying broadband is the next layer of growth in the industry. Broadband that would foster, that would deliver the benefit of the internet, the digital dividend. And broadband, the ministry has also been able to come up with a broadband team.
Okay, with the city ministry, he has enumerated 2 key areas where the ministry has been able to touch, and national growth, which is the broadband and the policy framework, giving us a roadmap on how to go as a nation. Beyond this, what are those areas you think the industry clamored for that is yet to be met?
I hate it when ICT issues are being mixed up with politics. It makes mess of the whole thing. I so much like the young woman who is the minister. Quite intelligent, quite fantastic. In fact, her roadmap, the things she faced that needs to be done, quite honestly, they are the things that can take us out of the doldrum. But are they taking us out of the doldrum?
The last time we were in Dubai for the ITU summit in Dubai, I think the Emirates were told that Dubai, Hana has 90%, and 100% broadband connectivity. Okay, that is huge, for innovation. That is huge for employment generation. That is huge for knowledge explosion, and that is also good for entrepreneurship. Okay, coming back home, these are some of the things I'm thinking for the industry now. That we all envisage that will come to be within a very short time. Take the budget for the year. If we say that we have a broadband policy, how much has been budgeted for it from the Executive Council? Do we have that? If you have to take a look at what the ministry has done and the impact of the ministry in terms of innovators, entrepreneurs, the young men and women in Otigba, the co-creation hub of this world and all that, how would you score that?
First of all, Omobola Johnson is the first minister living dead or alive to have visited Computer Village. Computer Village today is acknowledged as the African hub for technology, retail and wholesale product sales and all of these things. Now that woman took herself out of her cozy office on a hot business day and went there, took a street tour, engaged with players in that market, was able to get the first-hand information, was able to get the first-hand view of innovation underway in that key strategic market in Africa. And the impact of those changes may not be overnight, but they'll begin to basically unfold. And what else are we talking about? That ministry today has taken the level of, has taken government's policy of Buy Nigeria one step further. That ministry has adopted 5 Nigerian original equipment makers in computer assembly. Okay, Zynox, Omatech, Vida, Better Computers, that was the 5th one, if I can, brand system. Now, those guys are now going to, under a public-private partnership, begin to put computers on the desktop of students across Nigeria. Now, do you want to imagine the change underway with every Nigerian student being able to acquire a computer on their own? The innovation in Silicon Valley was not that the American government said that we're just going to pump innovation into your head. We're going to give you tools that would enable you innovate, and that's what has happened.
As you're saying this, something just hit
and
me.
it's just going to explode.
For all Nigeria initiative. We had Kani.
Yes, we had.
Was that different from this?
The model that has been adopted is different. Kani was about giving out contract, gave out money to people who provide computers to government employees and all this. No, this time around, this is now bankrolled by banks, which government is not putting his money into it. Government is just providing guarantees to those people and saying that
the banks were giving guarantee.
It was largely a government funded project. In this case,
through the banks gives the guarantee.
No, government provided money. This time around, government is not providing money.
Okay.
Government is just providing the guarantee that look, I have endorsed Zynox to be part of this initiative. If you meet the parameters stipulated by the bank, the student or the guardian of the ward can then sign up, just like the popular consumer loans that we have, in which people used to buy cars, electronics, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So with those tools in the hands of Nigerian students, and with broadband, Wi-Fi all over the campus network,
the ministry has done very well. The minister has done well. According to both of you, what do you think the ministry is not doing right now that you ought to be doing?
Okay, I can say from top of my head that the quiet changes on the way in the ministry are not being communicated to its various stakeholders, particularly the Nigerian public. There's so much happening. For instance, look at it. Just over in December, the federal government, through the coordination of the Ministry of Communication Technology, inaugurated the analog to digital broadcast switchover.
Yes.
With a roadmap plan to say that by January 2015, this 14-man team would drive this change required to arrive at this destination. Now, there's going to be a consequence of that is not so apparent to a lot of Nigerians. One is that a lot of frequencies held by broadcast stations will now be freed up.
Yes.
And that's what's called this popular digital dividend. When they're freed up, where do they go to? They go to telecoms company.
Yes.
First of all, the first thing they do is that they earn another round of millions of dollars in license fees to the federal government.
Yes. One area that the ministry is weak right now is in media and publicity.
Yes, largely so.
Okay.
In communicating whatever is doing.
What do you think the ministry is not doing right now? Key
well, if we look
or
at
it ought to be doing right now.
If we look at all these issues, that is why we say nothing much has been done. If I don't know in the media, how would the man who depends on me to know, how would he know? When I said that I hate it when ICT issues are mixed up with politics, I never referred to you. I mean that has been the problem with moving ICT forward here. We mix a lot of ICT issues with politics. Most of the things he has done has been on political ground alone. That's why you don't know. That's why I don't know. What I thought is that when this woman came in, she was going to give politics 40% and give consultation and private partnership 60%. Look at the Athens of this world, look at the Jacitas of this world, look at the outcomes of this world, look at the spawns of this world, look at all of them. Where are your problems?
NAPOST on the hotline now. When was the last time you used NAPOST services?
I think that was when I was in the primary school. And that was in the 70s.
What about you?
I think last time I used NAPOST was when I received my exam letter.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you very much. That is the show for the week. If you have any comment or suggestions for us, please send them to bayero@aitinfotechnetwork.com, or you can text